Hey, salut friends. Today we are taking a look at Bois d'Argent from Dior's private line called La Collection Privée or revamped Maison Christian Dior. Bois means wood and argent may refer to money, silver or just the color or whiteness of the silver. This is part of a new collection called the Legacy Trilogy created by Francis Jean in 2022. Oh, sorry. This is a new fragrance by the previous in-house perfumer François Demachy launched in 2016. For God's sake, Dior, make up your mind and give proper credits, will you? Okay, seriously, this was credited by Annick Ménardo in 2004 as part of the original debut trilogy in Eau de Cologne Concentration under the direction of Eddie Sleman. Now, Dior is a brand I really like. They were my favorite designer brand till 3 years ago. They have some of my all-time favorite signature fragrances like Dior Homme, Fahrenheit, Eau Sauvage and so on. I don't even mind the latest Sauvage Elixir, to be frank. Then we have this private collection which also had some great releases like Ambre Nuit, Leatherwood, Grey Dior. In the last 6 or 7 years though, since they were revamped by their then in-house perfumer François Demachy, their releases have not been that great. I don't mind floral or soft fragrances or designer ouds, but these just come across uninspired, lazy and pandering to certain markets. Not a fan of the latest Francis Jean release Dior Riviera either. As for Annick Ménardo, I'm really a big fan. She certainly has this powdery, woody, musky DNA in many of her creations, which I really enjoy. She has done both affordable, simple fragrances and more abstract, niche stuff as well. Mainly known for Dior Hypnotic Poison, original Hugo Boss bottled and Bulgari Black, etc. When you spray this one on, I get this combination of juniper and cypress. Dior calls this a chypre, which is from the name cypress. And overall, this is not a traditional chypre whatsoever. The only hint of that I get is at the top, maybe for the first 30 seconds or so, when all the other notes kind of collide and push this cypress to the top, and you get this sort of short-lived moss impression. Immediately after this 30 seconds, the cypress becomes more woody, foresty, and slightly earthy. Then there is juniper, which is a little fresh, like ice cubes clanking in a glass, a bit pungent and also woody. The combination of the cypress and juniper berries is sharp, crisp and peppery. Hints of green in there, not rough and more so gleaming. Not too fresh but still manages to be uplifting. Now after 10 minutes or so, this fresh sharpness kind of goes away slowly. This is something that is constant throughout this fragrance. It is very much like an entity that is alive but moves slow and steady. The pepperiness, borderline spiciness remains throughout. It becomes more dry, waxy and slightly powdery because of the iris that comes in. The iris in here is more so the rooty, soft, suede-like, dry, cottony, powder puff-like kind. Does not go makeup-y, lipsticky or soapy. As this fog of iris settles down, the spiciness also takes a backseat, but this little piercing sensation is there throughout the fragrance. Some sweetness comes through from this plush vanilla note. Not too much. There is also this dry, balmy sweetness from the touch of honey in there that joins the vanilla. This may not be that evident throughout the life of the scent, but it is very much present here. In fact, if you smell the atomizer of the bottle, sometimes it just smells like soft serve vanilla ice cream or clotted cream. This bit of sweetness and soft iris opens up to what is the most prominent smell throughout the scent, I would say, and that is a cocktail of resins. I get hints of benzoin, touch of incense, opoponax and labdanum, but the most prominent one here is the myrrh. The myrrh in here is positioned in a particular way. You have others like frankincense that smell expensive and spiritual, and benzoin that smells vanillic and rich, but myrrh has always been this humble, down-to-earth, grounded kind of resin, but here it is very polished and elevated to its idealistic self. Not too strong, dense, but still has this bitter, brown, earthy, slightly sweet and salty vibe. It still has its characteristic crushed, rocky, stony, sandy facets in there too. In fact, the overall scent itself is almost ethereal and transparent, not too heavy-handed, has this airy quality to it. Maybe even some ambroxan and hedone in there to add to this vibe. Now as you go through the dry down, the scent becomes very much a soft, creamy, balmy, cloudy, billowy, resinous scent. Hints of the dry iris is still here. The ambery vanillic notes continue to come through and adds some warmth to the scent. Some clean, smoky, mineralic, metallic touches from what they call as white incense. I also feel like there may be some tolu or peru balsam in here because of these balsamic touches. Some woodiness comes through from what could be some cedar and probably some hint of vetiver, hay-like quality in the base. Some clean patchouli and musks in there, which gives some texture and contrast to the polished nature of the scent. The overall fragrance itself has this kind of silvery golden sheen to it, because of which it is very abstract and does not evoke the impressionistic images or smells of the actual notes in the scent. Now in the far dry down, it becomes more dry, slightly dusty and powdery with the musks. This little bit of sweetness and peppery bite is still visible in the horizon. The musks transition into this soft leathery nuance, and this is what is left in the end of the wearing. Now the performance is good enough, lasts for 6 to 7 hours. Projection is soft, understated for the first 30 minutes or so, then becomes a skin scent just after an hour or two. So it is more of a hide and seek scent. The skin scent itself remains for 7 to 8 hours. Sea scents really could be year around, I think. Day or night should be fine. Though recently I have seen myself at the Dior boutique that since this re-release by Francis Jean, it comes across like it has been thinned down even more. Not sure if myrrh or iris or other ingredients had to be reduced or cost factor played a role. In fact, I have even seen people come in. These are people that have been wearing this scent for years and years, mind you. So they subconsciously know this scent better than perfumistas with dozens of bottles. They come in just to get a replacement bottle pretty much, spray this, complain that they can't smell much to the essay and walk away without buying. But hey, for what it's worth, the smell is still there. It is quite unisex, I think. Though this smells like a classy dress-up kind of a scent, it also has this accessory-like quality and I think can be pulled off even casually, just like a t-shirt with an expensive watch or an expensive handbag. Dior has indeed increased the price of this collection 5 times in the last 2 years or so, which is not great, but here we are. Overall, I really love this scent. Very classy, elegant and understated. Every note in here comes across clean, polished and elevated to its best self. You know, like a movie where everyone does their part really well, or a band where everyone plays their best. The texture in here is my favorite part. Feels like clean old paper, books and woods. Has this cotton, linen, golden fabric-like quality. Some expensive popcorn, rice cracker-like vibe in there too. Smells very luxurious, warm, toasty because of this golden, silvery, hazy quality that is there throughout this scent. Comes across very intricate, just like drawing streaks on a board with a small chalk piece. Images of abstract, silver-lined, golden paintings come to my mind. Personally, even reminds me of a safe locker. My dad is in the jewelry loan business and at the time stored jewelry and cash and coins in this locker. I used to sneak in to get a peek at it now and then, and this reminds me of that smell. Almost like a super realistic locker in a silver tree's forest. Though it does not get a lot of buzz nowadays, it is still popular, particularly in France, and the most copied Privé scent. It's associated with the elites and even quoted in some rap songs and such. Though it has this odd reputation, I don't mind it. Hedi Slimane would go on to use his DNA in his Celine collection. Annick Ménardo with the likes of Bois for Guerlain and such. She's probably the one behind the Celine creations, I think. This is what the Privé line should aspire to be and look up to. It feels like there is history in here, something aged that has gone through time without smelling dated. Some heritage here. Like if Dior called a perfume Heritage when it came out, of course they have Diorella, Diorissimo, Eau Sauvage and so on. But if they call a modern 2000s perfume as Heritage, this would be it. There is Dior Homme, of course, but I feel like the seed for Dior Homme came from here. Easily my favorite Privé and up there with Dior Homme as my favorite Dior fragrance. That has been my review of Bois d'Argent. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, take care, goodbye and ciao.
Je sens le bois d'argent, toi tu pues au bas. J'ai mis Dior, bois d'argent, jean maqué, chaîne en or. Bois d'argent.